I'm Ed from Halvarssons, and today I'm going to be talking you through the top questions I've been asked over the last 2 years from our retailers and our customers. I hope this will give you a little bit more of an insight into the products and the way we do business at Halvarssons. So question 1, it's a technical question about Outlast. What is Outlast and how does it help in a motorcycling context? So as a lot of you know, with Halvarssons we've been using Outlast for a long time, and it's a really important element within our jackets. So you'll be able to tell which jackets have Outlast in. It's always on the outside of the jacket or the trouser, so you can tell. We also do base layers and gloves with Outlast in. So what is it? First of all, Outlast is a technical material that isn't anything to do with waterproofing and windproofing. It's a big mistake a lot of people make. Outlast is neither waterproof nor windproof. The membrane we use is Dryway, which we'll get to later, but this question is just about the Outlast. So what is Outlast if it's nothing to do with waterproofing? It's about temperature regulation. And it's a really important element within our jackets and our philosophy about how to manufacture jackets. It's all about comfort and keeping the rider comfortable while they're riding. And Outlast is an important element. So how does it work? First of all, technically it's a strand of material with small wax beads in. So they're encapsulated wax beads. The way it works is as you get hot, you melt those wax beads and it absorbs the energy out of your body, hence the phase change material. And when it goes solid again, it gives you the energy back. And that's just the technical description. How it works in practice for a motorcyclist is very specific. Motorcycling is a static activity. So unless you're riding hard on a track or off-road, you're pretty much static on a bike. You're going down an autobahn, a motorway, going out for a ride. Yes, you move side to side slightly, but generally it's a static activity. What that means is your body is working to keep you at the correct temperature and the elements are trying to stop that happening. So you're riding down the motorway, you've got a huge amount of wind chill, can reduce your temperature by up to 20 degrees. So you dress for that condition appropriately. So you have a thermal liner on, you have your jacket on, your trousers, your boots, gloves, helmet, all those things keeping you warm. The issue is when you come off that motorway. So you get to a petrol station to fill up, or you get stuck in traffic or a set of traffic lights. When you lose that wind chill, your body starts to heat up, you start to sweat, and when you pull away again, you get the wind chill back, that sweat evaporates and you cool down and chill. So you're not comfortable, you're not concentrating on the ride because you're not concentrating on what's important. You're just obsessed with how you're feeling. So what does Outlast do? Well, if you imagine you're going down the motorway, you've got that wind chill perfectly comfortable, pull off into the petrol station, you start to get hot. The Outlast will absorb that energy out of your body by changing from a solid to a liquid. When you pull away again, get the wind chill back, it goes from a liquid back to a solid and gives you the energy back. So it slows down your change in temperature. That's important because it stops you sweating, keeps you more comfortable. So that's its application in a motorcycle environment. But you don't have to take my word for it. I recommend go down a store that stocks a Halvarssons product, get an Outlast jacket on, feel it on your skin. You should feel your skin cool down if you're in a warm environment, and you should remain comfortable in that jacket for a period of time. If you then compare it to a standard jacket without Outlast in a store, you will start to get hot very quickly and start to sweat because of all the thermal liners, the membrane that's within that jacket. So go in there, do a test between the two, and you'll see exactly how Outlast works. So the second question stays on a technical theme. How does high art work and what is it? Okay, so we've been using high art on our jackets for decades. It's a high abrasion resistant textile. And what that means is it sits below the face material on a jacket. So the construction of a jacket or a pant or a glove is you have a face material, you have the armour underneath, but between those two levels, we put in this high art material. The way it works is, if you imagine a flat piece of material on a flat plane, it doesn't take long for that to wear away. Also, the face material of a jacket generally is a static material, so it can't move, so heat builds up quite quickly and that increases abrasion. So you're going to have a material that abrades quite quickly if you don't have anything backing it up. So what we do is we put in a piece of high art material. So imagine you've got your flat material on top, underneath that you've got a material that comes up in loops, like a terry cloth. What that means is as the top layer wears away, you have a long period of time before it wears away down to the bottom, so it increases your abrasion resistance up to 500%. There's another advantage on a textile jacket, that is, sorry, it's 200% on leather, 500% on the textile. There's another advantage, of course. If you imagine you have all these loops of material hanging up and down, instead of a flat piece of material, they move as you fall off and tumble down the road or slide down the road. That means heat builds up less quickly, which means again it increases the abrasion resistance time. The third advantage of high art is it's extremely comfortable. So when you put a jacket on, it feels comfortable against the skin, you absorbed into the jacket, so it increases your comfort. Again, you can see our safety through comfort concept coming through with the high art. High art is proprietary to our brands, so you'll see it across the ranges in Lindstrands and Halvarssons, and that's why we can achieve such high CE ratings across the board in all our products. Okay, so the third question is a bit more about our brands. So it's what's the difference between the Lindstrands and Halvarssons brand? We get asked this a lot. So essentially Lindstrands and Halvarssons are sister brands. Same design teams, same factories in most cases, and very similar features. So we use high art in both brands. We have a similar philosophy of both brands, safety through comfort, so we're still trying to make people a bit more comfortable. So why have the two brands? It's pretty simple when you look at the two catalogues and the two ranges. The Lindstrands brand is more colourful, more adventure, a younger feel towards it. So you have things like the Sunne suit come in a black and an orange and a grey. And then you have the other suits, you've got oranges, blues, greens, all these colourways, so it's much more vibrant, much brighter. If you look at the Halvarssons brand, it's a more premium brand. We use Outlast in it, which we don't use in the Lindstrands brand. We use Nygaard zips in it, so slightly more premium materials, and it's a bit more subtle, a bit more classic, I guess is the word for it. So the colours you'll see are dark blues, dark greens, blacks and browns. So it really is much more that sort of subtle, classic, premium style with the Halvarssons, much more sort of younger, fresher, adventurous with the Lindstrands brand. Second difference is with the Lindstrands brand, we never use leather. That's all in the Halvarssons range. So all the leather comes in the Halvarssons range. That's where the brand was grown from in Malung. So that's why you'll see a big amount of leather within that range. So that's the main differences between the two brands from Lindstrands and Halvarssons. So the fourth question, again, get asked a lot is, do we make women's clothing and gloves? The reason we get asked this a lot, particularly with the gloves actually, so I'll address them first, is that our gloves are all unisex. So a lot of our gloves run from a size 5 to a 14. Obviously size 5 to 7, 8 normally is around the women's size split. We don't mark them up as women's sizes. So if you look at our catalogue on our website, all our gloves that go from 5 to 14, obviously that gives you a full size split. Some of our gloves only go from a size 7, but obviously a lot of women are 7, 8s, 9s as well, so that will give you a cut for those women as well. So almost all our gloves will come in one colourway or another in women's sizes. So it's worth going to store and checking. Obviously, if you have bigger hands as a woman or smaller hands as a man, you can buy the sizes for each one. So it's a unisex glove approach. We don't specifically mark them like other brands for women's gloves. So you do need to go in and check in the stores, in the catalogues on the website. Now, I'm actually quite proud of what we do with the women's clothing in terms of jackets and pants. And the reason for that is our top two laminates jackets from Halvarssons also come in ladies' versions. They come in all the leg lengths you'd expect. They come in the right colours. So it's not just women's colours, they come in the same colours as the men's. So the ladies' top spec laminate comes in a grey colourway and a black colourway. Pants come in different leg lengths so you can get exactly the fit you want. And it's not just a smaller men's jacket, it's cut to fit a women's shape. The jacket down from that, which is Yollen for ladies and Narren for men, is full stretch fit. So any ladies out there that are serious riders, want a laminated waterproof jacket, it's definitely worth getting in store and trying on our Yollen jacket because it's so flexible, so stretchy. It's much harder to make women's jackets than men's jackets. Men tend to stay the same shape. We're sort of a box. We get bigger bellies, obviously, as we get older quite often. But women, on the other hand, have bigger hips, bigger busts, backs, thighs, hips. All those things are all different sizes, so it's much, much harder to make it. So I would always suggest for a woman to buy a stretch fit jacket, and the Yollen is the perfect jacket with the pants, which are Gnon, G-N-O-N. Try those on in the different leg lengths to get it to fit exactly as they are. They're the same spec as the men's, exactly the same, AA rated, all the new armour, all the same features as the men's stuff. So I'm really proud that we make high-end jackets for women. Obviously in the Lindstrands range, we also make slightly more mid-range and lower-end products for women as well. So we do a lot of women's jackets. Again, it's worth checking our website. Finally, I will just mention we do our top spec leather from Halvarssons also in a women's cut as well with the pants as well. So everything we do, we look at women and men and we treat them exactly the same colorways, just a different fit, so you can get a premium product from Halvarssons or Lindstrands. Okay, really simple one to answer this. It's how many leg lengths do we do in our pants? Well, it varies between each model of pant depending on how popular the pant is mostly. Obviously, depending on how many leg lengths you've got, you have to CE approve them for each leg length, so there is a cost implication for us as a brand. So if a suit isn't as popular, obviously there will be less leg lengths in. For our top spec stuff and our most popular suits, we'll be doing either a standard leg and a short leg, or even a standard, a short and a long leg. So if you check our website, there's actually a size guide on there, which you can use to get your leg lengths right, get your waist size, your chest size. It's everything you need on the website with that sizing chart. But of course, it's always best to go into your local dealer, try it on and get their advice so you can make sure that everything sits in the correct place. One thing I would mention though, we get asked this quite a lot, and I hear this a lot about all sorts of brands of clothing, is the armour doesn't quite fit in the right place. Remember, with all our pants and our jackets, all our armour is adjustable. So I'll show you this piece here. You can see it has two Velcro pads on the back of the armour. This means you can move it up and down the arm and up and down the leg, so you get exactly the right fit on the armour. So once you get your leg length correct, adjust the armour in the elbows and in the knees in particular, and the hips. Make sure it fits perfectly, and you should get a perfect fit with all the Halvarssons and Lindstrands products. Okay, so our sixth question is a C approvals question. So what A rating are our products? Well, it does vary on the products, of course, what A rating it goes. We have everything from an A all the way to a AAA. But what I will say is the vast majority of our products are AA rated. And then we have some outliers in single A and AAA. If you look at the Halvarssons range on its own in particular, we have a mesh jacket called a Dane, which is a single A rated product. That still comes with a back protector, level 2 armour, elbows and shoulders. Everything else in the Halvarssons range is AA rated, till you get to the top leather jacket, the Racken and the Rin, and that is a AAA rated product. So across the board, we're trying to hit the highest ratings we can while maintaining a comfort situation. So you can always check on the label, see what rating it is. It's on the website. The certificates are also available on the website. We take it very seriously to get the highest spec we can. We're also UKCA rated now as well. So all the ratings we've got, we work as hard as we can to get the highest rating possible, and the majority of our products are hitting the AA rating, as that is the intended use of the product. They're not racetrack products. The only product we have in the AAA is the Racken and the Rin, which tends to go for professional riders. It's a waterproof leather jacket, very high spec, worth trying on if you do want the ultimate protection. It's hitting that very high level of AAA, but most of the rest is a AA rating. So question number 7, it's about membranes and waterproofing. So what membrane do we use? So we get asked this a lot. Our membrane is called Dryway. To give you an idea, we have 3 different specs of it. You've got Dryway, Dryway Plus and Dryplate 2.0, and that essentially tells you how much breathability there is and how much waterproofing. So the standard one, 7,000, 7,000, that's waterproofing versus breathability. Then you've got 10,000, 10,000, then 10,000, 30,000 for the top spec one. Let's talk a little bit about the type of membrane. So without getting too technical, we call it a non-porous membrane essentially. So as your body gives out moisture, it gets absorbed by the membrane and then pushed out the other side, a little bit like a Newton's cradle. The other way of doing it is with an EPTFE based membrane, which is expanded polytetrafluoroethylene membrane, which is a different type of membrane. And we get asked quite a lot, why don't we use that type? Why do we use the type we use? The answer is fairly simple. EPTFE has a superb breathability because it's completely open structure, so it breathes really well. What it doesn't do so well is it's not so flexible. So our membrane is much more flexible. So guys, if you go and try on a Narron jacket, or ladies, if you try on a Yolland jacket, you'll be able to feel the amount of stretch and the amount of flexibility. So with our type of membrane, you get much more flex, much more comfort, but you do suffer a tiny bit on breathability. So it does depend which way you want to go. Both membranes have pluses and minuses. We've gone for the way that gives us the most comfort for the product. Talking about breathability slightly, most of the air that gets removed from a jacket comes up through the neck anyway, so you get a huge amount of the moisture coming out of that area, and we believe that opening more vents is the best way to decrease the temperature inside the jacket and to increase the breathability. So horses for courses, which way you want to go. We've picked a membrane that gives us the most comfort and most flexibility. Again, try on that Narron, that Yolland jacket, and you'll see how comfortable our laminates are because we use that non-porous membrane. So question 8 is, where are our products made? We use 7 or 8 different factories across the Lindstrands and Halvarssons ranges. None of it's made in Europe anymore. It's all made mostly in the Far East, in different countries, some of it Indonesia, some of it China, some of it other countries as well. So why do we make over there and not in Europe where the brands were started? So a little bit of history. The brands come from Malung in Sweden, and that was the leather capital of Sweden for years, which is why the Halvarssons stuff has a huge amount of leather in it. The factory we use over in India, I believe, to manufacture our leathers, the guys there were all trained in Malung, so that's where they picked up their expertise and then moved the factory out to India, started working out there, and that's why we use them, because we have that link back to Malung. All the products are designed in Sweden, the team's all from Sweden, the testing's all done. We also send a guy over to the factories. He spends half the year in the factories making sure the quality control is correct, making sure the workmanship's done correctly. So even though we use outside factories all around the world, we use the best factories we possibly can for each of the products. So we have a specialist glove factory, leather factory, textile factory, one for the laminate. So they're specialists in their field. We honour our warranty. We have a fantastic warranty service. So any issues you have in those first 2 years, give your local dealer a shout. They should be able to sort it out for you. We have very few warranty issues, and we're extremely proud of the quality our factories manufacture and the quality control we put into our products. So question 9, what size back protector should I use? This is a question for all brands across the board. So Halvarssons and Lindstrands have 3 size back protectors and 2 different levels of back protectors. We have a level 2 and a level 1. You can check which one that is just by checking the CE standard. There's 3 boxes. It'll have a 2 or a 1 in it. Then it'll have T plus and T minus, which is a temperature text, which we won't go into quite now. But essentially we have 3 different sizes. Why do we have 3 different sizes if the pocket's one size? We don't use a pocket in our jackets. We have a pocket if you've already got a back protector that you can put one in. But what we recommend doing is, at the base of all our jackets there's a zip. Undo that zip and what you'll see is a Velcro strip. If I just grab this back protector here quickly, you'll see you've got 2 Velcro points on the back protector. You can then put that back protector in that pocket. Why is that important? Well, as I said, we have 3 different sizes of back protector, small, medium and large. Just because you're a bigger guy this way or lady this way doesn't mean you're going to have a longer back. So just by increasing the size of the jacket, we don't believe you should increase the size of the back protector. You can put any of our back protector sizes in any of our jackets. So if you're a bigger guy this way, but you're a little bit shorter, you should still be using the small back protector because your back is still short. Or adversely, if you're very slender but very tall, you can have a small jacket, but you're going to want the bigger size back protector. So our back protectors can be customized to fit in each of the jackets. So what you need to do is go into your local store again, grab all the sizes of back protector, find the one that fits you perfectly and is comfortable for you. Just on that point with the armour, our elbow and shoulder armour, as I said earlier, is fully adjustable as well. So we are very proud of the fact that we have the most adjustable armour system on the market. Coming in this year and last year, we also added an airbag feature on all our new products and also a chest protector ready feature, so you can go for a chest protector in the front as well. Question number 10 is, what is nudded? Now I understand this question because outside of Scandinavia, nudded sounds like a very strange word, particularly in Germany, the UK and those countries. So what is nudded? Nudded is an innovation in glove technology. So in the past, when you had a glove and you wanted to use a touchscreen, you had a patch on the index finger that you could use your touchscreen product with. This was fraught with problems. Essentially, you had a big patch, sort of a centimetre square sometimes, trying to hit a button that was maybe 1/3 of a centimetre, maybe even less across. So it was quite hard to hit the right button on your sat nav, on your phone, tablet, all those things. So Nudded have developed a system where it gives you a stylus on the end of the index finger. So as you can see, you've got this orange stitching around a point on the finger. That means your point is going to give you an exact spot on your touchscreen device. So when you're putting in your place destinations, you can get them in much more accurately without having to take your glove off and mess about. So that gives you an exact point on the finger. It's unique to us at the moment in the industry as far as I'm aware. So that is a very, very important point. We spoke to Adventure Bike Rider magazine about it. They absolutely love it when they're out doing their adventures and everything. So I'm really proud of this technology that we've innovated within this field. That should be coming through on most of our gloves next season. I think it might even be all of our gloves next season. I would need to check. But the vast majority will have the Nudded system on it, all the way up from our basic gloves through to our more expensive products. Well, that's it for today. Thanks so much for joining us with this sort of question and answer session. If you've got any questions of your own that you want answers to, please jot them down in the comments below or get in touch directly. We'll try and answer them in our next video. What I'll do is I'll pick 10 of the best questions and then I'll choose one of those questions to give a prize to, maybe a pair of gloves or something. So please give us your questions. All the most popular ones we'll definitely answer next time on the next edition of our question and answer session. Thanks so much for listening. My name's Ed and this has been Halvarssons.